33-year-old mother of two is dead after being shot by her own brother on Christmas Eve. Abrielle Baldwin was trying to break up an argument between her siblings when one of them pulled out a gun. Fox 13's Evan Axelbank reports on what has the sheriff furious and the changes he is now calling for.
Photos Abrielle Baldwin posted to social media show her filled with joy.
She's just a woman going about life, doing her thing with her two kids, trying to make a living, trying to make it.
On Christmas Eve, while at her grandmother's home on 22nd Avenue in Largo, she'd had enough of her brothers bickering. DeMarcus and Darcus began pulling guns on one another.
Abrielle told DeMarcus, quote, "You all need to leave that stuff alone. Why are you trying to start it? It's Christmas."
They both had been fighting over Christmas presents, with the 15-year-old Darcus jealous that their mom had spent more on gifts for 14-year-old DeMarcus. After Abrielle stepped in, DeMarcus pulled a gun and fired, killing her and sending her son and his nephew, an 11-month-old, falling to the ground. Then, Darcus pulled his own gun and shot DeMarcus, leaving him badly injured.
This proliferation of guns on the streets and guns in this area and guns in the hands of these kids, this is the worst I've ever seen it. I don't think we've ever seen it this bad.
The sheriff says the area around 22nd Avenue in Largo has been subject to extra patrols lately, with 13 gun-related incidents since September. He says his office has gotten reports of 17 guns stolen from unlocked cars. He suspects the guns used in this shooting were obtained that way.
And people can't leave their car doors unlocked and leave their guns in their cars. It's got to stop.
Further, the sheriff says both juveniles have been let off the hook too easily by the juvenile justice system, particularly DeMarcus, who has a history of violence against school staff and law enforcement. The sheriff is calling for tougher laws.
They are not getting the consequences that they should get that keep them from doing it again and again and again.
Abrielle was only 23, and now her kids, an 11-month-old and a 6-year-old, will have to grow up without her. Evan Axelbank, Fox 13 News.
DeMarcus has been charged with first-degree murder for shooting his sister. He's in the hospital and expected to recover. Darcus is charged with attempted first-degree murder and is in a mental health treatment facility.
I don't even know where to begin to wrap my head around the news clip or the news audio that we just heard right there. And I'm sitting there saying to myself, something as petty as Christmas gifts, that's where it is for you because you felt like someone spent more money on them than they did on you, or you didn't feel like it was evenly split. That is absolutely insane. And I actually found out about the story when it was posted up in the Discord. So, you know, I don't know when the video is going to actually come up, even though Christmas has just passed, because I'm just finding out. I'm actually recording on this the day after Christmas. Hopefully I can get it up while it's still in that range. But my goodness, this is absolutely sad in more ways than one, because a life was lost that didn't have to be lost behind sheer ignorance and stupidity. But what I'm going to actually do is add on more context behind this, because it goes into another article that I came across actually goes into more detail past what was put in that clip. It says a 23-year-old mother in Florida was killed by her younger brother Sunday during a Sunday family dispute over Christmas gifts. The argument began as Abrielle Baldwin, her two sons, ages 6 and 10 months, were out shopping Sunday night with her two teenage brothers, ages 15 and 14, and their mother, Pinellas County Sheriff Bob Gualtieri, said Baldwin's 14-year-old brother was apparently upset that his older brother was getting more gifts than him, sparking an argument, the sheriff said. So they had this family spat who was getting what and what money was being spent on who. That's exactly why you never try to you never tell the other person what you're getting or how much money is involved, because you never know what that can lead to. But at the end of the day, should it matter? It really shouldn't matter. I mean, the fact is you got something. It doesn't matter if someone got something more than you, but it's that thing of, oh, I feel like this sibling is more loved than I am. Now I want y'all to pay attention because I have a picture of their mugshots up here. Notice the date of births. One was born 1 year before the other, so there's not a huge age gap between both siblings. I don't even think it's exactly a year. So it's just the only difference is just maybe months between the years. It's not exactly a full year, but either way, one came before the other. So my thing is, I wonder if it was a jealousy thing there all along, stemming before this even happened. But this was the powder keg for them. The family eventually left the store and went to Baldwin's grandmother's home, where the arguing continued. While at the residence, the 14-year-old took out a handgun and threatened to shoot his older brother in the head. Family members present at the home tried separating the teens. The younger teen then began arguing with Baldwin and threatened to shoot her and her 10-month-old son. So that's crazy. So when the sister, the one who ended up losing her life, stepped in to basically mediate and try to break them up, then he threatens to shoot her and also kill her 10-month-old child, which would be his niece or nephew. Like, this kid did not care anymore. He just was ready to go, all because he felt he was being slighted on those Christmas gifts. Of all the things you want to get mad with family over, that's where you draw the line at. He then allegedly shot her in the chest with a .40 caliber handgun. The baby was in a carrier and wasn't harmed. When the 15-year-old teen came out of the home, he took out his own .45 caliber handgun and shot his brother in the stomach. So the one that was arguing with the older brother about the gifts, the one ended up shooting the brother who shot the sister. I'm trying to figure out how in the world did a 14 and 15-year-old even get those guns? That's what I think that's the biggest question I have out of this whole situation right here. The older teen ran from the scene and tossed the gun. The younger teen, who allegedly shot Baldwin, was hospitalized in stable condition and will be taken into custody when he is released. Local prosecutors will review the case and decide whether to charge him as an adult for the killing of the sister and the sheriff. I'm gonna say it right now, they're most likely going to charge him as an adult. The 15-year-old was arrested and charged with attempted first-degree murder and tampering with evidence. Man, this is an all-around crazy and sad story at the end of the day that did not have to get to this point. The fact that you have them arguing over gifts is one thing, but the fact that it led to a murder is another thing. Like, that is absolutely crazy that they bickered like that. They said they started in the store going at it. And then when they went to the grandmother's home, that's when they were still arguing, which means they had to been arguing in the car all the way there. One thing I probably would not have done, though, is not take them to the grandmother's house. Like, if they still were, mad at each other, or it was still heated arguments, I would not have gone to someone else's home, no matter who it was, and bring the drama from one location to there. Because imagine how that weighed down on her in her home. Like, when she's walking, like when they're walking in her home, she wasn't probably expecting to be met with that drama. She was probably meant to be met with a lot of love from her grandchildren and her great grandchildren and her daughter, who was the mother. Like, that is absolutely insane. If I have all of that pop off over some gifts, really? But that makes me believe this stemmed more than just some gifts. It's just that they're using the gifts as a front. I wonder if there was jealousy between both brothers before this, because I refuse to believe, and I hope that's not the case, that this all started just because one found out that they were getting more than somebody else was. Like, I refuse to believe that's where it started at. I think it started somewhere before that, but this was the straw that broke the camel's back, apparently, for them. Either way, the one that shot the sister and killed her is a straight up knucklehead, and if they choose to charge him as an adult, so be it. As for the one that shot the other brother because of what he did to the sister, they're saying that they might try to do some kind of mental evaluation with him, because I don't think they want to actually throw the book at him, because as far as they can tell, or as how they'll see it, is that he was doing this in retaliation for what he did to the sister. Because again, the one who pulled out the gun first was clearly the aggressive one, but the one who pulled out it second was literally doing it as in defense of not only himself but the family around him. Like, this kid literally said he was first off was going to shoot his own brother in the head. Y'all heard me read that. He said he was going to shoot his brother in the head. And then when the sister, the one who unfortunately lost her life, stepped in to break it up, he said he was going to kill her and her son. her 10-month-old, which is his nephew. This kid did not care and would have done it, and he did do it. So it's crazy. This woman who was a mother, now I'm not talking about the one deceased, but their mother literally could have lost 2 children and a grandchild in one night over some gifts. Like, really let that sink in. Just because one found out that one was getting more than the other. At least that's how the story is being portrayed. I've heard of family drama before, but this is family drama overload. This is family drama times 10,000. I've heard some crazy wild holiday stories before, but this one definitely takes the cake. It plays out like a movie script for a Tubi movie at that. No offense, to Tubi, anything like that, but that's how it kind of plays itself out. But either way, at the end of the day, a woman lost her life. 2 children lost their mother. They will never grow up with their mother. They said one is 6 and one is 10 months. She was only 23. She was very young. She really hadn't gone through life completely just yet. And to not only, and to add insult to injury, is that she loses her life to her own brother. Not some random person on the street, not a spouse, but her own flesh and blood. Someone who should be wanting to, if it came to it, wanting to protect her, and the whole time she was going to be needing protection from him over some damn gifts. Throw the book at his ass, please, and thank you.